Today on Jesse Duplantis Ministries.
When passing through hard times, never become broken-spirited. This is done by determination. I have determined to complete my destiny, reach my destination. Dreamers have ideals and always attain something, no matter how much they stumble and fall in their progress. Sometimes you're gonna fall in your progress. Sometimes things are gonna shut down. Get up. Just get up. You know, when my age, you know how young people, they don't realize that when I was young, I was very strong. I'm not as strong today as I was back then, but I was very strong. But when it came to arm wrestling, I was good at it. My brother, but he's in heaven now, he said, come to the bar. I go to the bar. He said, I bet anybody $100 you can't pull my brother down. And there was guys 6'2" and 6'3". But see, I had leverage because when I grabbed their hand, my elbow was off the table. So I have to pull them down where my arm could be. So they automatically like this. I have the full strength of my shoulder, my arm and everything. Bam, I popped them knuckles. And I don't mean this, I never lost an arm wrestling thing. Well, the other day, we got some pretty young people that work for us. And I never said nothing about it. They started arm wrestling, you know. And they say, hey, boss, want to arm wrestle? I said, you don't want none of this. Now, they're seeing this. You see what I'm saying? They see, you know, all this. I just smiled at it. I said, okay, you want to arm wrestle? Yeah. So we got that. He got a big arm, see? I said, okay, let's start. And he goes, I said, you getting a revelation? I said, you got to do better than that, boy. I know what you're thinking, 75. You know what I'm thinking? Your mama. Come on. I said, now what? Bam! Because I have the leverage because my arm is short. I know he was stronger than me, but he stretched out. You see what I'm saying? I almost asked for $100, but I didn't. I thought about my brother there. When you're a dreamer, you have ideas and always attain something, no matter how much you stumble or fall. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to receive what you believe in for. Let me tell you something about dreams. Dreams have no expiration dates. Who wanted to go to the promised land more than anybody? Moses. You know, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, 3 of them didn't make it. You would think, but you see, the dream still came to pass through Joshua. Now, I don't doubt there was a big fight when Moses came down to the end of his life because Moses' sons never got the top slot. Just because you're related to the person doesn't mean you're going to get it. Joshua's sons did not get the top slot. See, that's God's business who puts authority, that chooses those positions to walk in. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand that. So maybe you want to be a contractor or something like that. Well, get around contractors that are successful, not ones that do shoddy work. I was in Honolulu the other day, and this man said, you Jesse Duplantis? I said, yes, I am. He said, I work for Walmart. I said, well, it's pleased to meet you. I've bought a lot of things at Walmart. He said, man, I come in here. He said, I need you to help me. I said, okay, what you want me to do? He said, how do I find the right person to work in Hawaii? I said, buy him a ticket. Everybody will come to Hawaii. You know? And I said, but before you do that, I said, find out what kind of work they've done somewhere else. Now you're gonna have to pay them because things cost more in Hawaii because you gotta ship it, you know what I'm saying? As it does on the mainland like here. And he said, man, I never thought of that like that. I said, if you just do it like that, you know, and then judge it. Evidently you know what you're doing because Walmart wouldn't have put you in that position, see? I said, you remember that the simplest things will bring the biggest money. You know what Sam Walton's main objective was to build Walmart? He got in his pickup truck. You ready for this? And he would drive his pickup truck and stand almost outside. And as people were coming in and walking out, he said, thank you for shopping Walmart. Thank you for shopping Walmart. And it made people feel so good, so great. He did it. He'd do it for 8 hours. Thank you for shopping Walmart. People said, man, nobody ever told me thank you. And look what he built. Now, how come he died of cancer? Because somebody didn't believe that he could be healed. Do you hear what I'm saying? Where's the Christian people? Where's the people that says we know something about healing? But you don't come in and say this, well, you know how God is. Sometimes he does, sometimes he don't. Jesus couldn't go to funerals, men. He messed them up. You trying to bury somebody, and Jesus said, get up. And the guy said, I never wanted to be dead anyway, so I guess I'll just go home. And went home. Now, but that's Jesus. Oh, now here we go again. St. John 14, verse 12, 13, and 14. Just go with the word says. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go to my Father. Whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do. Why? That the Father may be glorified in the Son. Then he said, if you ask anything. Church don't preach that. Anything in my name. Here's the thing. Well, if it be his will, he didn't say that. You said that. Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. Read it. It's right there. Anything. Anything. Well, you know, maybe I'm just dumb enough to believe anything. And in 49 years of ministry, I've never had a financial deficit. You know why? Because I got more faith than you? No. But I studied Jesus' life. Because Ephesians 5 verse 1 says, be ye therefore imitators of God as dear children. So I got to imitate him. What did he do? And I saw he never had a financial deficit. I said, but then neither will I. You talk about persecution. Who do you think you are? That's envy, see? I said, well, Jesus said I could. Well, he said that, but he didn't mean, oh, you're calling him a liar now? Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. But you can see by their own demeanor what was going on here. Well, why don't you get discouraged? Because I don't mix faith and time. Because time will become your enemy. See, dreamers have a sense of responsibility. And I believe I'm talking to a bunch of dreamers here. That leads to a direct accountableness to God. Dreamers have a sense of responsibility that leads to a direct accountableness to God. So I'm accountable to God. I'm accountable to my board of directors. My board of directors get mad at me every time I have a board of directors meeting. You know why, Jeremy? They want me to tell you how much I give the missions. You know how much money? I ain't doing that. Nothing wrong with it. That's not Billy, that ain't me. I don't move people emotionally. You know, and I'll tell you, and I like to protect people's dignity. You know, everybody once in a while needs some help. Spiritual, physical, finance. So I don't tell people what I do. You see what I'm saying? I just go do what I do it, and that's it. And but I'm very conscious that I don't let people take advantage of me. Because when people find out you're a giver, they'll get around you a lot. I'm believing God for a watch just like that. I said, well, keep believing, boy. Now, I've given away probably 50 watches, Rolex President. I've had so many of them. I've had so many watches given to me. Do I preach too long? I just wonder why I get watches given to me all the time. You know? I'm talking expensive watches, $70,000 watches. I'm not kidding you. And I wear them maybe 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, then I give them away to bless someone, you know. And one man said, but I gave it to you. I said, well, I wore it, didn't I? You gave it to me. Is it mine? Yeah, then I can do what I want with it, right? I said, have you ever thought that this person was believing, wanted something like that? And God knew I had it because you gave it to me? So that's called twice sown seed. You get blessed, I get blessed, and the guy gets the watch. Do you see my point? You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you come here and you want your tuition all paid for. Or you might want to stay in one of these places they built. That's pretty simple. Believe. Don't just come up to Andrew and Jamie and go, see, because Satan's going to see that. And see, you're opening up a door for Satan to attack you to stop the dream that you want. But you see, if you keep your foundation, he will stumble on your foundation. Now, write this down. Dreamers have the genius to be loved greatly because they have the genius to love greatly. Think about Joseph for a minute. Boy, he's smart, huh? Potiphar liked him, but see, Potiphar's wife liked him too. But he's thinking, I'm going to honor the man I work for. And my God, she began to put a hit on him. Now, he's a young boy. Now, who going to know? He's the only Jew in town. He could have had sex with Potiphar's wife. Who's going to know? He ain't going to get his papers taken away from him because there ain't nobody with papers there. But he wasn't very smart. And, I mean, she grabbed and stripped his clothes. You don't run out of a woman's house naked saying, I didn't do nothing. There ain't nobody gonna believe you. You understand what I'm saying? Grab something, put it over you. But I love what he said. Watch this. How can I do this great wickedness and sin against my God? I'm not gonna do that. See, I've learned to be dead to sin and alive to righteousness. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. In the rock world, women by the hundreds, by the thousands, just to line them up. They didn't need to know anybody's name. I believe I can say that now because we got a bunch of men. Excuse me, man with the chamber. Close your ears here for just a second, chamber. I mean, just line them up. That's the rock world. That's why they call them rock gods. But when I got born again, I didn't understand the power of salvation. And God said, he said, you took the purity of the gospel, went as far as the pollution of sin and cut it out. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been saved 51 years. I don't even have temptations about women. And I'm not a dead man. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll just leave it right there. I ain't a dead man. My father told me, he said, let me tell you, boy, everything's going down. Everything's breaking. It ain't going to work. Only thing that's going to work till you die is eating. I said, okay, Dad, whatever, you know. Watch this. But yet, man, I thought, you got to be careful. And, you know, and Satan has done that. And I said, this is all you got? I'm not even tempted, much less fall. Why? Because I'm dead to it. A dead man can't do anything. The only thing that I've struggled in my life after I was saved is my temper. And I'm not big enough to whip nobody. But the way I was raised, I hit you with a baseball bat. I don't care if you're 6'7", you going down, Bubby. That Louisville slugger will put you down. I was raised with La Cosa Nostra. I was raised with the mafia. On the streets of New Orleans with Sicilians, you do what you got to do. Alligator got to eat. My grandfather, you cut that up, put that in a garbage can, throw that out. You don't tell that to children. You told it to me. Because it was normal. No, it wasn't normal. It was abnormal. I got friends of mine that tell me even till today, I never killed anybody that didn't deserve it. Now, how can you say such a stupid thing? But they believe that. And you know what happened today? They wanted me to cancel today because the La Cosa Nostra person passed away. And they wanted me to do the funeral. You know what I said? I don't break my word. That's why we like you. I die with you. I said, I'd prefer you to live with me. You understand? I die with you. I said, but my word's my bond. I don't trust no priest. I don't trust that. I trust you. Well, the only thing they know is Catholicism. So Billy, I took his last confession. You have to. You have to work with what you got. He said, and I said, but I can't. I said, I'm preaching at a college up in Colorado. Is it cold up there? Yeah, I think so. Well, they just told me, come see us, we want to talk. I said, okay. And I've never thought my entire life that would ever be around me being saved all these years. And the Lord spoke to me and he said, they need salvation just like anybody else. I've had the Department of Justice, FBI, everybody call my office. You know who this is? Yeah, I know who that is. I mean, I went and eat one. They make, man, the good Italian food. I'm eating a restaurant. They got pictures of me. They said, they call me the mafia preacher in New Orleans. They took a picture of me. He's sitting in a restaurant. I'm just eating spaghetti, man. That's all I'm saying. He's just eating spaghetti. Because my cardiologist told me to gain some weight. And I've gained about 20 because he wanted me to gain 25 pounds. I said, no. He said, you're the only man I ever told that in 40 years. He said, do you feel better when you're heavier? I said, yeah, I'm stronger. I feel a lot better. He said, do you know your numbers are lower when you're heavier? Your blood pressure is lower, your cholesterol, all that's lower. So gain 25 pounds. So I did. That's why this belly's here. But I told him the other day, that's it. This is sucker's going down. I ain't buying a bigger suit. I'm not buying a bigger car. I'm not doing it. He said, well, you're not going to feel as good. I said, okay, I'll suffer being skinny. So I'm on a diet now. Don't offer me nothing to eat. You know, I can hear my stomach saying, hey. Now you can tell them to get you anything you want on the plane. Come on, Kathy won't know. She's home. Yes, she'll know. Every time I come in, she said, let me smell your breath. Because she know I can't brush my teeth till I get home. Oh, you've been eating at barbecue again. And I found y'all got one down the street. Pretty nice, I don't know the name of that place, but they don't give you no place. They just throw a piece of paper on the thing and throw it all on there. Whoa. I learned a lot of things in Colorado. I learned from Lawson Badu to cut a deal when you're in a restaurant. I've never done that before in my life. I went to eat with him. I got to tell him, Lawson, they're just so funny. Lawson, I'm just sitting with him, you know, and the guy said, he said, how much is that appetizer? It's, I don't know, $10.95. I'll give you $7. Now, I can understand that if you're cutting a deal with something, but not the food. He said, no, sir, it's $10.95. He said, okay, $7.50. I'm just looking at him. I said, what's the matter with Lawson? Did Lawson's ever live my? The guy said, okay. And we got that amount of money. You know what? He dreamed it. I would never have dreamed that. But now, the other day, the steak was $39. I said, I'll give you 24. I guess I didn't have the faith. It didn't work. It didn't work. I got to develop it, see? I got to develop it. So that temper of mine. Because I mean, you do what you got. I'd run you over with a car. Kathy saw me put guns to people's heads. No, not now, but, well, sometimes it got close. Let me just say that. And I told the Lord, I said, I've lost my temper. He said, looked like to me you found it. I wish you would lose it. Of course, they find out about that stuff, and these mafia guys go, we love you, man. I die with you. No, you don't want to die with me. I don't want to die. I'm not afraid to die, but I'd rather go in the rapture. What's that? Opens up an avenue to talk the word of God. Do you see what I'm saying? Write this down. When passing through hard times, never become broken-spirited. This is done by determination. I have determined to complete my destiny, reach my destination. I've determined that I can change your mind if you listen to me. I'm not trying to make you just feel good, because feelings go back and forth all the time, you know. It's that little song, feelings, no. You want something that works. And when you understand something that works, it's always for somebody else. No, it's for you, because God's no respecter of person. Well, you know, when that $6 billion offering that I walked away from, that was several years ago. I got a phone call the other day. How you doing, Reverend? I said, I'm doing fine, guys. I said, how's business? Doing good. You know, we've been trying to do this thing you wanted to do. I said, I know. Even Elon Musk tried it. Couldn't get there. Now, he put up that Skylink stuff, 156 satellites. Now some of these satellites are falling out. You know, did you know that? They're falling out of gravitation. They got to put some more up there, but they're burning them because they're not what I call the kind of satellites that I want. I want one that lasts at least 20 to 25 years with space stuff. I mean, I've studied all that. I've been to NASA, all of it, you name it. And they said, we can't seem to get it done. I said, because God didn't call you to do it. I said, I have the panache. It's right here. I said, you thinking about it? Well, can you tell? No. I said, I don't give away what I know. I said, let me tell you, I don't mind y'all making money, boys. I believe, hey, y'all investors here, y'all can make money, but you can't, or you still have that stipulation. Oh, yeah, cannot be sold. Why? So that the gospel can go forward. Thank God for social media and what's happening there and the different things that happen. And you know what? I didn't want to do social media. Kathy told me, and several of my directors said, would you do this from January 2020 to the end of December 2024? We've had over 94 million people contact us on social media. We're working 24/7, Andrew, right now to try to service that. People getting born again, people getting saved. And you know what they want? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm talking major hedge fund up. How do you make this work? How do you do that? Then they're starting to ask me political questions, which I don't like that at all. You know, but God said, well, answer it. So I do, you know. See, so something's happening. And I really believe it's the end times. I want Jesus to come in my lifetime. Now, I'm not afraid to die. Man, I've been shot at. They tried to electrocute me twice with 240 votes. At one of the Believers Convention, Jeremy, they had a .357 Magnum on me. Man, I heard something boom, around me, and they nailed that guy, put him to the ground. I didn't even know it till afterward. And people say, you're not afraid? Why? Hey, look, when a bullet hits you, the lights just go out. What's used to being afraid? You don't argue with a gun. It's like you got a Volkswagen, you're trying to argue with an 18-wheeler? You crazy? It's going to kill you. So I've had that happen many, many times because people, they believe all the junk that they hear out there, see, which is simply not true. And it's just amazing how sad, sick the world is. But see, God's got you to change the world. In business, in ministry, in everything you want to do. Give yourself a hand clap. He chose you. You are here. You can do this. You can do this. You want a big church? Yeah, simple. That's easy. Just keep pushing. Just keep believing. There's 3 types of people come to church, you know it. The ones that's coming, the ones that's staying, and the ones that's going. And the ones that's going, don't try to keep them because they're going to give you some trouble. Just love on them. Just love on them. That's all you got to do is just love on them. I've had some people say, I don't like you. I said, that's okay. Jesus loves me. But one day you're going to need me. No, I won't. Oh, yeah, you will. And I've had it happen so many times. And instead of saying, I told you so, and I ain't helping you, I just bless them. Yeah, and when sometimes a preacher messes up, that might be under your organization, pulls a shenanigan they shouldn't pull, you know, they do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get mad about it. I'm too old to get mad about that. I go, well, I guess that's what he thought. Then they'll come back 2 years later, and they walk in shame, see? They're afraid to come back. It's like a preacher told me this the other day. He said, women should be silent in the church. Women have never been silent in their lives. That's not a shot. Thank God they're talking, because at least we know where to go. Well, women can't preach. Really? You mean to tell me that Mary, the mother of Jesus, can carry the word but not speak the word? You mean to tell me she can carry God who is made flesh and dwelt in her womb, and she can't get up here and preach? You talk about a dreamer. That woman was a dreamer. Carrying God, but she can't talk God. See, that's a person that doesn't know how to dream. That's a person that have not studied that showed themselves approved. They're intellectual, but they're not New Testament taught. And if you'll figure that, and we know what the Apostle Paul said. I got enough sense to know that. But if you keep reading, you might have to go to some different translations to figure it out. In other words, one of them, he said this, do not interrupt me. And you just got to find it out and understand what's going on. Because I want to tell you something, God will use anybody. God used a mule to stop a prophet, a jackass, because that's all he could hear. How'd you like to have a jackass say, what you doing? Well, maybe that's the only thing you can hear. I don't want to be like King David. I love David, but I don't want on my deathbed go, you know that guy that hurt us last month? You take him out. He put a hit on the guy as he was dying. Did you go read it? You'll see that. He said, listen to me, Solomon. You take care of this sucker. You put him down. I can understand that. When I read that, I thought, David is Sicilian. No, he was wrong, but David loved him, but he killed you if you mess with him. So would Moses. But then he became the meekest man in all the world. He had a dream. Well, he didn't make it to the promised land. Yeah, but he was on Mount Transfiguration. You see what I'm saying? Let me close with this. Great ambition and conquest without contribution is without significance. How will history remember you? Great ambition and conquest without contribution is without significance. How will history remember you? what will history say about you?
We have a life-changing partner offer for you entitled, God is Faithful, Why Aren't You? That may sound a little hard, but the truth is, so many people judge God's faithfulness by their own. Listen, Jesus always does what he says, and we should too. This message will challenge you and transform every area of your life. How do I get it? Go to JDM.org and get your copy today. Do it.
Come and join Jesse and Kathy for the anniversary celebration of Covenant Church.
Too many people are thirsty for the different things in the world, but we have to be thirsty for God.
Since 1997, we've been reaching our community and the world with the gospel of Jesus Christ.
That's why I named this church Covenant Church.
Sunday, September 21st at 10 a.m. in Destrehan, Louisiana. Don't miss this special time of worship and ministry.
Do you know that every born-again believer has a God-given right to receive overwhelming blessings from God? In my book, Overwhelmed, you'll be challenged to say no to limited thinking by understanding all that belongs to you.
It's your birthright to experience overwhelming favor in every area of your life. Order your physical copy or digital download for your donation of $5 or more at JDM.org.
It's time to be overwhelmed in a good way by God's power. Get your copy and be blessed.
Jesus said he could change a nation in a day. We can preach to the world today. 7.8 billion people in 7 minutes. A time has come.
We have a job to do, a vision to fulfill.
We're believing God for the unbelievable, the impossible, simply because it's doable.
He said, now, the uttermost parts of the world are yours. Go. Every little thing that I can give him opportunity to expand, I will.
He's looking for people that are bold enough to step up and say, yes, Lord, here I am, use me.
Come on, hallelujah. The only Jesus some people may ever see is the Jesus in you or the Jesus in me. Now, let's show the world who he really is.
Can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Create your world and walk in it. See, once you understand your destiny, your destination, and all the things that go with it, it is no problem. You can, I can, we can, because he can. And you will walk here just like as if you'd be in heaven.
Thank you for watching today. For more information about Jesse Duplantis Ministries, go to jdm.org.